Presented by the all-new 2017 Honda CR-V. With revamped cargo space, it's the biggest van yet.
We are in Florida, St. Petersburg to be exact. Tropicana Field. A lot of Blue Jay fans on hand enjoying this afternoon game. They have come from all across Canada to watch their ball club. This is the final game of this 6-game road trip. Alex Cobb, the right-hander, will be activated, and he is going to make the start today. He's been dealing with a toe injury. Cobb missed all of 15, most of 2016, coming back from Tommy John surgery, but he claimed himself fit and ready to go for this start this afternoon. Take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays. Steve Pearce, for his second consecutive day, hitting in the leadoff spot. He's had a good road trip through Chicago and here in Florida. 7 for 18, 3 doubles, a home run. He hit the home run in the second inning last night, one of 3 home runs in the second. And Josh Donaldson, this season against the Rays, he has hit 8 home runs and driven in 13 runs. Donaldson is 1 shy of the franchise record for most home runs by a Blue Jay hitter against a single team in one season.
Maybe the bats will come out, the big home run bats again today, because they get Alex Cobb, who comes off the disabled list to make his 24th start of the season. Cobb was put on the 10-day DL for turf toe. That was on August 8th, 3 days after his start against the Milwaukee Brewers, when he pitched 1-run ball over 6 innings. Now, he's had 7 career appearances against the Blue Jays, and his .356 earned run average versus the Jays is the highest among divisional opponents. That's how well he has pitched within the American League East. 4 starts against them here at Tropicana Field. Actually has a losing record against the Blue Jays. He's faced them only once this season. That was back on May the 7th at home. Took the loss in that one, but he only gave up 2 earned runs.
The Rays have played very good defensively of late. They have had 7 straight errorless games. They've only committed 1 error in their last 13 games, and they've got their anchor back in center field, Kevin Kiermaier. Newcomer Lucas Duda is at first.
13th start over there for Duda, and Kevin Cash likes to do that. He was a National League player when he was with the Mets. To get that bat going, he likes to put him at first base instead of DHing. Logan Morrison will DH this afternoon. Lucas Duda, a pretty good-looking first baseman, gets the start this afternoon.
So Cobb is set, and Steve Pearce, we mentioned Pearce hitting in the leadoff spot for a 2nd consecutive game. He got things started yesterday with a double in his first at bat. He is set. Here's the first pitch of the ball game from Cobb, and it's in there for a strike, and we are underway.
Pearce acting like a leadoff hitter right there, taking all the way against Cobb and getting a lot of hits to right field. So I'm a little shocked that they're in the pull side against him in that shift. 3 infielders on the left side of the infield for Pearce.
The outfield is somewhat shaded to pull, except for Souza, who is straight away in right, reflecting what you mentioned about Pearce getting some hits in that direction. Ball and a strike. Good fastball upstairs. You'll notice Cobb, much like Marcus Stroman, has a couple of different pausing points in his windup, and it can be distracting for hitters as well.
It's not as pronounced, if you will, like Marcus Stroman, but he will pause when he steps back. He'll pause at the top of his windup when he picks up that leg. He's been a good pitcher for him. He's been battling some injuries, like you said, Buck, over the last couple of seasons. Some bad injuries where he's missed significant time. But when he has been in there, he has been tough.
Coming back from Tommy John surgery, he was out all of 15 and most of 2016. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Upstairs with the fastball. Pearce from Lakeland, Florida, about 50 miles northeast of St. Petersburg. So he's got some family and friends here watching these 3 ball games. Blue Jays will head home after this game and get set to take on the Minnesota Twins tomorrow night at Rogers Center. Popped up over the screen and out of play. These are the days that are very challenging. Day games here at the Trop, it's a very light translucent ceiling, so when the sun is out and the clouds are gone away, it's tough to pick up the baseball against that roof that's actually the same color as the baseball.
Yeah, the white backdrop becomes even brighter, so you can't take your eye off of, especially the outfielders. I have seen Kevin Kiermaier, who is an outstanding center fielder, lose balls during day games here.
There's a base hit for Pierce. He likes this leadoff spot. So he has set the table once again for Josh Donaldson, who's enjoyed his first 2 games here at the Trop.
Well, in yesterday's ball game, he had a home run in the first inning. In the first game, he got that ball in. See you later. That was the home run off of Tommy Hunter in the 8th inning, and then this was in the first inning yesterday. Breaking ball down and away from Austin Pruitt. He was able to stay with it. Hit another first inning home run, the first of 6 home runs for the Blue Jays yesterday.
6 different players hit home runs in that game. It's the 3rd time that has happened in franchise history. Another fastball upstairs. Cobb pitching up early in this inning. They better be careful.
Yeah, I think that's by design. Just watching the catcher. The catcher is keeping his glove up there, wanting to pitch these batters up. If you don't get it up, it's going to be a couple of runs on the board.
Downstairs. This is a common occurrence for starting pitchers in the first inning, especially for Cobb, who's coming off the disabled list, trying to get zeroed in on that strike zone in the first inning. And good hitters like Donaldson have been able to take advantage of pitchers just trying to get settled in.
He last pitched on August the 5th. So he's been throwing on the side. He's been throwing some simulated games. So he's a little bit off right now.
Donaldson disappointed on that check swing foul ball. Ball was off the plate inside and got his bat in the way.
Trying to pitch him in. Check swing. Yeah. As long as it doesn't hit your hand. That's what you don't want. Cobb last pitched, I said, on August the 5th, 6 innings. He only gave up 1 run. That was to the Brewers, and he lost that game.
Donaldson looks like he's got something in his eye, making sure it's cleared out. Up and in. Everything has been up and in to Donaldson, and he's aware of that. You remember early on when he came back off the disabled list, he wore that protective guard on his helmet because people were pitching him in so much, but then he felt like it was a bit of a distraction. He took it off.
Up and in, and down and away. That has been the book on JD lately. He's been laying off those tough pitches, and when they come into his zone, he's been hacking. Coming back in there again.
This is popped up right over home plate. Sucre in foul ground makes the catch. Donaldson's retired, run away. So now to bring Justin Smoke to the plate. He is one of the 6 players to homer in last night's game.
He got a pitch that was down and crushed that ball to center field. That was a monumental home run in terms of stats for the Blue Jays. His 34th home run as a switch hitter. Seems to do something every night for the Blue Jays offensively. That home run came in the 5th inning. Gave the Blue Jays at that time a 6-3 lead.
34 home runs as a switch hitter, ties Jose Cruz Jr. for the most home runs by a switch hitter in franchise history. It's a breaking ball for his strike. Smoke is 0 for 11 against Alex Cobb. Some guys you just can't figure out. There's a lot going on in Cobb's delivery, and that can be disruptive.
Little bit different when he's out of the stretch with a runner on base. A little bit quicker to the plate. He doesn't have that hesitation like he does out of the windup. So it should be a little bit easier for the hitters to pick up the baseball. He's been tough on Smoke because of his split change. Smokey's got to lay off of that. It's a changeup that he uses at a split grip, and it looks like a fastball. Justin hasn't been able to lay off of it.
There it is. Smoke foul tips it.
Alex Cobb asking if he really did foul tip that, but he's basically a 3-pitch pitcher. Fastball, he's going to throw it 51% of the time. It's a low 90s fastball. He's got to spot it also. A nice spike curveball where he really pulls down on that middle finger and gets a lot of spin on it. And then there's the splitter. It's a split change. It's got a funky Falcon grip type of grip on it. And he throws it as hard as he can, and he gets a lot of downward movement with that splitter.
Smoke's behind 0-2. Ball in the dirt. Pierce led things off with a sharp single into center. His 8th hit on the road trip. He's still at first after Donaldson popped out.
Blue Jays put up a fight yesterday in the first inning. 27 pitches for Austin Pruitt for them to score a couple of runs. They had 3 hits in that inning. Putting up a fight again here in the first.
Pulled foul, another off-speed pitch. Just seems to take starting pitchers a few pitches to get sorted out on the mound. They'll warm up down in their respective bullpens, and then they come out to the mound. The mound's just a little bit different, little different feel. A little more adrenaline once the game starts, and it always takes them a while to get zeroed in with their command.
Alex took a long time down in the bullpen to warm up this afternoon. Thought he had him right there on that fastball. He didn't come in. He made his last pitch at 106 today. Game time was at 110, so he was down there a long time trying to get loose for this start. You can see he's very deliberate, slows the game down, tries to think through everything. He's thrown 18 pitches and he's gotten 1 out.
Cobb made just 5 starts last season for Tampa Bay, a total of 22 innings. This year he comes to this game having thrown 147 innings. 2-2. Smoke lays off.
Really upset with himself as he missed with the spike curveball. That's the splitter on the left that he just splits his middle finger and his index finger and throws it like a fastball. The one on the right is the curveball where he spikes it, where he digs that nail in with the index finger and then uses the middle finger to really pull that baseball down. 2 different grips, 2 different types of pitches. Right now he's having trouble getting both of them over for strikes.
And Smoke strikes out. So first strikeout of the afternoon. Cobb used that splitter and strikes out Smoke. 2 away.
It's the curveball from Cobb. You can see that finger sticking up, and as a hitter you can see that at times. He gets a lot of spin on that breaking ball. Smokey helps him out a little bit by swinging at that ball off the plate.
So that'll bring Jose Bautista to the plate. He's 3 for 15 against Cobb for his career. We mentioned Donaldson's just 1 home run shy of tying the franchise mark for the most home runs by a player against one team in a season. Jose had 9 home runs against the Orioles in 2010. Tony Batista in 2000 also hit 9 home runs against the Orioles. There's a snap throw to first, and Pierce is back in. The 3rd Blue Jay to have 9 home runs against one team. That happened in 2001 when Jose Cruz Jr. hit 9 home runs against the Yankees. So that's an impressive run against one team in a single season.
Josh trying to join that group. Today's his last chance. He don't play Tampa Bay anymore after today.
Jose has 31 career home runs against Tampa Bay. That's the most among active players. He also has the 3rd most RBIs. Robbie Cano has 101. Adam Lind has 82. And Bautista is 3rd with 81. Ball in the dirt.
You can see how frustrated Cobb is with himself. He has not been able to find that release point at all on that curveball.
Half and half so far, balls and strikes. He's thrown 24 pitches, just 12 strikes. You want your pitchers to be around 15, 16 pitches per inning, and he's thrown 24 already.
And a 3-to-1 strike to ball ratio. He just has not been able to get that breaking ball over, and that's got to be a bad feeling for a pitcher when you go out there against a team that hits as many home runs as the Blue Jays have without your best stuff.
Fouled straight back to the screen on last pitch. Pretty good fastball from Cobb. It's a full count now. So Pierce at first base will finally be off and moving on the pitch. He had the leadoff single. There goes the runner. Strike 3 called. Bautista caught looking at a fastball. Cobb works out of it. A couple of strikeouts after he gave up a leadoff single. No damage for Alex Cobb in his return to the roster. Bronx grew up in New Rochelle, New York. He had pitched at Stony Brook University of New York. So he will take his place on the mound. First start as a Blue Jay. Let's take a look at the lineup he'll face here for Tampa Bay. 62 and 66 at 4 games under 500. Kevin Kiermaier, boy, he has had a good return to the roster coming off the DL. 6-game hit streak, .458 average, couple of doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs, including a 2-homer game last night. And in the 5th spot, Souza Jr. this season. He's 18 for 56. He's done some damage with 5 doubles, a pair of home runs, and he's reached base in 27 straight games against the Blue Jays.
This is starter number 13 for the Blue Jays this season. Tom Koehler makes his Blue Jays debut after spending his entire career with the Florida Marlins. So he's familiar with the Rays, having pitched against them 3 times. He has allowed 3 runs in each start, once over 8 innings, an 8-inning affair against them, twice over 5 innings. He last pitched in the big leagues July the 23rd. That was against the Reds. Blue Jays picked him up in a trade. They're able to bring him here to the big leagues. He was in Dunedin for a while, stashing on getting him ready for this start. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup.
Fouled straight back. Kevin Kiermaier has been swinging the bat very well since his return. Koehler, we mentioned, is 31 years old. He has been a Marlin his entire career until the trade, and the Blue Jays picked him up. That's a foul ball down the left side.
His fastball has been good this year. It's a low 90s fastball, and he needs to pitch off of that fastball. He's been throwing it for strikes a little bit more consistently than his off-speed pitches. Curveball, slider, and his changeup. All right, to get Kiermaier to chase on that one.
Like any pitcher, Koehler is at his best when he can locate that fastball. That really makes his secondary pitches much more effective. There's a good curveball, and he gets a strikeout. First batter he faces. One away. Let's take a look at the defense. Same alignment in the outfield. Goins and Barney up the middle. Miguel Montero is behind the plate.
Catching Tom Koehler for the first time, so this is very interesting. I watched them this morning. They were always together. Montero was down in the bullpen warming up Koehler. Usually they'll send the bullpen catcher down there, but I think Montero wanted to go down there, feel what his fastball looked like, have a see what his curveball looks like. So he's catching him for the first time. And that's always an interesting dilemma when these two are catching, when these two are working together and you're catching a guy for the first time.
Lucas Duda knows all about Tom Koehler. He's faced him a lot. He's just 3 for 27. Of course, both of them playing in the National League East. Duda with the Mets and Koehler with the Marlins. Well, Kohler's behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Got a little better fastball than we were led to believe. He's hit 95 already this afternoon.
We've seen him in the past, just a couple of seasons ago when he was with the Florida Marlins. He had 7 strikeouts against the Blue Jays and showed they had an above average breaking ball.
It's popped out of play.
Being able to locate that fastball, I think, is going to be important. And P. Walker was telling both of us today that's been a good pitch for him so far this season. That he's been able to locate the fastball and then pitch off of that and use his other off-speed pitches.
Pretty good pitch. He didn't get the call. Like it caught the inside corner. It's now a full count. Good breaking ball, late breaking curveball, and Duda caught looking at strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Koehler.
You know, we were showing you Alex Cobb's grip on his curveball. It's almost the same type of grip that Koehler uses on his curveball, and that's where he gets a lot of spin. See the index finger on top of the baseball? We used to call that knuckle curve. And you can really use that middle finger to get that on top of it and really pull it down, create a lot of spin. How about the confidence in that 3-2 curveball?
He knows himself very well, and even if his catcher doesn't, he sure can got that curveball and ends up with a strikeout. Evan Longoria. Longoria 1 for 8 against Koehler. That one hit was a home run. Koehler last pitched against the Rays on May 24th last year in Miami. Great changeup, bounced in the dirt. Koehler took the loss in that start. He was matched up against Jake Odorizzi. Tampa Bay won that game 4-3. Longoria pokes it past Darwin Barney into right field. Well, we have seen that so often from Longoria. He gets a pitch, a tough one, down and away. He just stays with it and drive it into right.
I think the later you get into at bats with Evan Longoria, you got to straighten out your defense. Looked like a slider that was off the plate, and they were still playing in the pull. There's Barney up the middle, and they just can't get to that ball to his left. He cuts his swing down and hits the ball where it's pitched. That was a slider away, just went right with it.
So Koehler gives up the 2-out single to Longoria. Now he'll work to Logan Morrison. Morrison's the DH this afternoon. Once again, we emphasize the fastball command is the key to any starter's success. He missed with that first fastball off the plate inside. Snap throw to first. Longoria's back safely.
Montero showing off that arm just a little bit, feeling pretty good about himself today. Trying to catch Longoria leaning towards second base.
upstairs with the fastball. Koehler began his career, made it to the majors the first time in 2012 with the Marlins. Made one start, appeared in 8 games, and then the next year he made 23 starts. His best season, he was .500 in 2014 with Miami. Made a total of 32 starts. He's been durable. He's made 32, 31, 33 starts in 14, 15, and 16 for the Marlins. Morrison and Koehler were teammates with the Marlins. So obviously Koehler knows the strengths of the hitter, and the same for Morrison.
He's heating him up early in this at bats. Get ahead with that fastball, finish him off with the curveball. Morrison's gone through a little bit of a rough patch himself. Had a great start to his season, was hot right around the All-Star break, and there was some talk that maybe he'd be on the All-Star team, but since then he's cooled off just a little bit.
High fly ball to right. Bautista looking up into the roof. He's got a beat on it. He makes the catch, and Tom Koehler, a couple of strikeouts. He gives up a 2-out single and nothing more. Good start to his Blue Jays career.
Jays and enter the code MBJ1200 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching this afternoon's broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Don't forget, your code must be entered by 4 a.m. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. And once again, we've got a pitcher throwing to a catcher for the first time. Tom Koehler having a conversation with his catcher, Miguel Montero.
There's so many things that they can talk about. Hey, I want you to set up this spot against this hitter. Don't set up too early against the guy when he's on base. Flash me the signs at this time. There's so many things that they have to work through. So you'll be seeing this, I think, all afternoon as long as Tom Koehler's in the ball game. These two are going to be talking about it.
Alex Cobb misses with that first pitch curveball to Kendrys Morales. Morales had a couple of hits in last night's game. He finished up with 2 singles and 4 at-bats. Reaches for that outside pitch.
Well, there's no question that Alex Cobb has not been able to find his release point just yet on his off-speed pitches. So as a hitter, I think right now, until he shows that he's going to be able to throw it for a strike, I think you lay off of it and just sit on that fastball.
That's out of play again. Very difficult to pick up the ball off the bat here for the fielders. Bright sunshine outside. It really lights up this roof, and you've really got to focus on that batter and see if you can't pick up the ball immediately, and that's what the defenders are dealing with. It's like the inside of an umbrella.
Hey, and the announcers are dealing with it too. That ball goes up and you don't have a clue where it is.
That's what I was getting at.
Not just the players, right? It's the announcers too.
Yeah, if it comes my way, let me know.
I'll take care of it.
All right.
As long as it stays below the lights, we'll be able to see it.
2-2. And breaking ball missed. Now it's a full count to Morales leading off the second. Pilar's on deck. Then Montero, the catcher. Blue Jays have just one win in the first 5 games of this road trip. They had lost 4 in a row before they won last night. Won 7-6. And it took 6 home runs to win it. Strike 3 called. That fastball catches the inside corner. 3 strikeouts in a row for Cobb, and that'll bring the home run hitter that won the game last night, Kevin Pillar, to the plate.
Got a breaking ball from Tommy Hunter that didn't break. It stayed middle in, and Kevin Pillar, who's been swinging a much better stick lately, had a great series in Chicago against the Cubs. That was the game winner, long one, deep to left field for Pillar, number 13.
11 for 28 over his last 9 games. First pitch fouled up. Now you watch, Cobb gave up a base hit and then got Donaldson to pop out. Now he's struck out 3 in a row, and he's starting to get zeroed in on his release point. He's finding the corners of the strike zone.
The last 2 batters have struck out on fastballs. That's what I mean about if he can't get that breaking ball over, until he proves he can get that breaking ball over, look for the fastball. Both of those hitters, the last 2 hitters for the Blue Jays, were looking off speed, and he slipped the fastball by him.
Way outside. Boy, I think that's a great point you make, because I think most average hitters, and we're talking about a major league average hitter, I think the biggest challenge he has is identifying what he wants to hit. The great hitters, they know what they want to hit, and they're not going to look for anything else until they get 2 strikes. They're looking for their pitch. That's the great hitter.
Sure. But then they're also watching that pitcher, right? And they're saying, okay, he's got a good curveball today, or he's spotting his fastball today. Early in this game, it's pretty evident that Cobb has not been able to get his breaking ball over.
I think Sucre got hit by the follow through of that Pilar's swing. Umpire out to give him a little break. Watch the catcher after the swing. I don't know if that bat hit him or the foul ball hit him.
Something shook him up.
Yeah. Jim Reynolds picked up on him, gave the catcher a little extra time to regroup, and Longoria has done the same, third baseman. He came over to the mound to talk to Cobb. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Popped up. Duda giving chase over near the seats, and it's 2 rows back out of play. Well, Tampa Bay, they had aspirations of getting deep into this wild card race, but they have lost 13 of their last 18. And the biggest problem for them has been the lack of offense. Kevin Cash wants the offense just dry up after the All-Star break. They've been averaging just 2.5 runs per game in their last 18 games.
They've been getting the pitching. They have settled down their bullpen. Their bullpen has been pitching well. But you're right, they have not been able to score any runs.
Kevin Pillar strikes out. That's 4 strikeouts in a row for Cobb. Pillar down swinging.
But maybe that offense is starting to come around a little bit for them. They've hit 10 home runs over the last 4 games. Pillar becomes the 4th consecutive batter to strike out against Cobb.
Cobb starting to get zeroed in. He'll work to the catcher, Miguel Montero. Montero has never faced Alex Cobb. His numbers for the season between Chicago and the Blue Jays: 233 with 6 homers and 13 RBIs. Both Montero and Rafi Lopez have homered on this road trip. Home run for Lopez last night, his first big league home run.
John Gibbons was holding court again with all the reporters today, and the question came up about Russell Martin. Russell was here, but he's going to stay here, and Gibby was saying that he's really not close to coming back. He's still bothered by that problem that he's had for what, a week now, 10 days, something like that, and it's going to be a while before Russell's going to be back out doing baseball stuff and playing in a game.
Those oblique injuries, they're very, very tough, and you have to allow them to heal before you can even think about starting your baseball activities.
That's right. It takes a while to heal, and then you've got to make sure it's completely healed, because if you do it again before it's completely healed, it can set you back another 6 weeks.
Russell's been on the DL 12 days. And, you know, you say, oh, it's a 10-day DL. Well, that doesn't mean you're coming back in 10 days. And Russ will stay here, try to rehab that oblique injury. And, you know, you talk 4 to 6 weeks at least for any kind of oblique injury. Popped up out of play. Remember, Aaron Hicks had it for the Yankees, and he missed about 7 weeks of the season.
That's right. Depending on the grade of the strain, you can be out 4 or 5 weeks. Then you got to get yourself back into baseball shape, and there just might not be enough time for him to get back in shape, game shape, to be able to play.
Hicks went on the DL June 26 and wasn't activated until the 10th of August. Three-2 count to Montero. Hits this one in the air to left field. Cory Dickerson is there, and Cobb retires the side in order. Alex Cobb starting to get zeroed in. We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score.
What Blue Jays fans can expect from him. And Koehler told me he's the guy that'll pack his lunch every day and head off to work. He's not flashy. In fact, he said there's really nothing exciting about him, but what I can't tell you is that he's going to go out there and give it his best every single time he's on the mound. Now, in this age of interleague play, it was surprising to learn that the only person Koehler knew in the Blue Jays organization was first base coach Tim Leeper. Leeper managed Koehler in High A and again in Double A the following year in 2010. Leeper gave Koehler his number 34 when he arrived. Koehler said he thought it was out of the kindness of his former skipper's heart. But then, Buck, he started receiving emails from Leeper with pictures of new bass boats he would like in return.
Of course, there have been stories of some of the real stars of the game going to a new team, and they would get the number that they wore in the previous team, and then the guy that had to give up the number would often be given a present, a gift, or something. But Leeper, obviously, tongue-in-cheek, sending those pictures to Koehler.
So I asked him today, I said, Leep, any reason why you chose number 21? He says, oh, yeah, that's a very popular number. So the next player we get, he's a good player and wants 21. I've got it. Now I can sell that to him.
That's pretty good thinking right there by the first base coach. Souza Jr. bunts it foul. Did you ever go to a new team and ask for a new number? Ask for your number?
I didn't have a number.
No, neither did I. You know, the guy, here's your uni.
Yeah, you were lucky to have a big league job, right?
Actually, when I came to Toronto, Jeff Ross was the equipment manager, and he said, you can have number 53. And I go, well, that's probably not one that I want to wear. How about 21? Well, that was the number I wore in Milwaukee and Kansas City. And he said, no, we're saving that for a prospect. Thank you.
We're saving it for a prospect, and you're a major league player?
Yeah, Ron Shepard.
Who, I was going to say, was it Shep?
Yeah, Ron Shepard. They saved it for Ron Shepard. So that's how I end up wearing 13. First time I ever wore 13 in my life.
21. How long did he wear that, 21?
Well, a couple weeks.
Okay.
A ball and 2 strikes to Steven Souza Jr. Just missed inside. Souza's had quite a run against the Blue Jays this season. He's 18 for 56, a 321 average. This has been his best season. He's set career highs in many categories.
Hits, doubles, triples, homers, 74 RBIs, leads the team. Runs scored. And he's playing some good defense, too. He's an aggressive outfielder. He's got 4 outfield assists, so they gave up a lot. That was a major trade, a 3-team trade, and some of the players that the Rays gave up, Trey Turner, Joe Ross.
Up and in, and Souza will reach base for a 28th straight time against the Blue Jays as he goes to first. Just checking with Jamie Campbell. Absolutely incredible what he has done. He has absolutely worn it out. Nobody can figure out how to get Giancarlo Stanton out lately, and everybody knows he's hot, and I'm sure they're pitching very carefully to him, but it doesn't make any difference.
We've been talking about this for what, 2 or 3 weeks now? If you walk him, he's over at first base instead of crossing the plate. Don't know why they're even pitching to him.
You know where he's at. Christian Yelich and Marcell Ozuna have both had good seasons, but they're not Giancarlo Stanton. So Koehler issues the leadoff walk here in the second to Steven Souza Jr. Cory Dickerson Well, they have done a lot of high fastballs to Dickerson, and he just can't lay off that. It looks so inviting to him.
You feel like he can hit it 9 miles, and we've seen Dickerson do that, but we've also seen him come up empty. Aaron Loop threw one up there to him last night, and he came up empty on that high fastball. Had a great at bat against Loop, ended up walking against him.
Souza will run from time to time. He's got 11 stolen bases. He ties him with Kevin Kiermaier for the team lead. Another high fastball that does the trick as Dickerson fouled it out. No score, bottom of the second inning. Each team with a hit. Pierce had a leadoff single. Longoria had a 2-out single. They both came in the first inning. Another high fastball. That one's going to be over the screen, out of play.
Dickerson right now just shaking his head saying, why am I swinging at that? Will you please stay off of that? You can see him, he's talking to himself saying, what am I doing swinging at that? I know it's a ball, but it looks so inviting.
Dickerson is 3 for 6 against Koehler. He's had success in minimal at bats.
Does he have him set up for that curveball?
You would think so. Another fastball on the ground. Smoke gets the lead runner, and that's all they will get. Smoke ranging to his right.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Justin Smoke, a terrific defender. He has set a franchise record for errorless games in a single season. He's played 105 games without committing an error. His last error came April 21st.
I don't want to say anything. I don't want to jinx him.
I already said it.
I know you did, so I'm not saying anything. He has been sensational.
He has been good. Very good fielder. As good a year as he's had with the bat, he's had that same type of year with the glove. Jesus Sucre, the catcher. Ground ball, base hit through the hole at short. Dickerson moves into second. Sucre starting for the first time in 3 games. So Sucre's aboard with a single. That's the second hit of the game for Tampa Bay.
Hitting
fastball, middle.
Yeah, they wanted it down and away, and it was upstairs. Could have easily gone to one of the infielders for a double play, but it finds its way into the outfield. Sucre hitting .250 as a backup this season.
Koehler now with 2 aboard and 1 out will work to the left-handed hitting second baseman Brad Miller. Miller snapped an 0 for 18 skid with a 6-inning RBI single yesterday. He goes after that first pitch.
A lot of pop-ups and a lot of foul ball straight back, evident of that hard fastball that he's using up against these Tampa Bay Ray hitters. Got a nice looking arm. It's the first time that we have had a chance to see him up close and personal.
Foul back. Boy, he comes right at you, doesn't he? He uses that fastball effectively.
Use it early in the count to get ahead. I think it's surprising, some of these Ray hitters.
It's still the best pitch in baseball. I don't care how hard you throw a well-located fastball. 0-2. Got away from him, man. Looked like it hit him on the shoulder, top of the back somewhere, and he goes to first base. So that hit by pitch will load the bases.
Looks to be okay.
And check on him just in case. Every time they see a batter get hit up around the head, they're going to make sure he's okay. Ron Porterfield and Kevin Cash out to check on him.
Yeah, right off the shoulder. That is a scary feeling. He does the right thing in turning his back to the baseball. You got some of your strongest muscles in your body and your back, and that, as a hitter, that's what you want to do. You see it coming that way, you just turn your body in and watch how he closes off and hides his head. Looked like it ricocheted off both of his shoulder and his helmet.
And too, by turning in that direction, you protect your hands as well. And he got them out of harm's way. So he's at first. Bases are loaded. Daniel Robertson takes the first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Robertson starting at shortstop this afternoon. Ooh, good block by Montero. He did a good job of getting an angle with his chest protector. Keep that ball close to home plate.
Get down as quick as you can and then use any part of your body. Watch the shoulders square up to the pitcher. Keep those shoulders square. You lean over that baseball. That's how the ball hits off your chest protector, just rolls in front of you. It was textbook right there on a tough pitch.
Ball and a strike, 1 out. Line drive to left. Pierce is over. He makes the catch. Tagging at third is Dickerson. He'll come in to score. the Rays have taken a 1-0 lead.
Daniel Robertson had a good series against the Blue Jays in that 4-game series back at Rogers Center 10 days ago or so. He says he's feeling better at the plate. He feels like his bat is going through the zone. He's hit some line drives in that series, and that was a line drive that just didn't get up high enough to get over the head, but a nice looking swing. That was a line drive about 350 feet to left field for a sac fly.
So the Rays have taken advantage of a walk and a hit batter. They've cashed in a run on a sac fly. Now back to the top of the order, Kevin Kiermaier. First pitch breaking ball called this strike. Kiermaier checking with home plate umpire Jim Reynolds.
Kiermaier's been hot since coming off the disabled list, and it has to do with his swing. It's not long. At times Kiermaier will get a little bit long with that swing. Recently it's been short, and he's been hitting a lot of extra base hits, a double, a triple, a couple of home runs.
Checked his swing there. Explain the difference between a long swing and a short swing.
Well, a long swing, the bat just takes too much time to get to the baseball, and as it's coming towards you, if it's long like that, you're not going to catch it out in front. It's too long of a swing. If you're a little bit shorter, you know, you've heard it in math, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. If you take a straight line to that baseball, you're going to have that force of the bat behind you connecting against the baseball. When you get long, you get jammed. The ball doesn't come off your bat very well. Since he has come back off the disabled list, and he was on the DL for a long time, 2 months, he has come back and he's been on fire because his swing has been short.
There's another good breaking ball, and that'll end the inning. So Koehler minimizes the damage. The Rays score on a sac fly. They've taken an early 1-0 lead.
The game's best players all season long with Game Day. Live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. And Buck at Bat would have been a great way to catch Rich Hill's no-hit bid last night against the Pirates.
It sure would have been. He threw a no-hitter for 9 innings and then gave up a walk-off home run to Josh Harrison, the only run in that ball game. And you know what? You always hear me talk about wins. That's a true measure of a pitcher. Well, maybe that's really not the case. Rich Hill threw a no-hitter for 9 innings, ends up losing the game. He didn't walk a batter. He gave up 1 hit and 1 run and loses. And the reason I say that, in his previous start on the 18th of August, he threw 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, walked 3, gave up 3 runs, and won.
So he's even.
I don't know if he feels like he's even, but he's even.
You know, amazing game last night, and he started that 10th inning, and I commend Dave Roberts for sending him back out there. And Roberts was saying, hey, he's the manager of the Dodgers, say he only had, what, like 95 pitches, and set it back out there. He was hitting his spots, making his pitches, everything like that. He just made one mistake, and Josh Harrison made him pay for it. No hitter in the 10th. Shades of Harvey Haddix. Remember Harvey Haddix?
1959, Haddix pitched 12 perfect innings in a scoreless game against the Braves in Milwaukee. And he lost his perfect game when third baseman Don Hoke made a throwing error on Felix Mantilla's leadoff grounder in the 13th. How about that? 12 perfect innings. They had a sacrifice bunt, an intentional walk, and then Joe Adcock actually hit a ball out of the ballpark. Ryan Goins lifts one high and deep to right. This has got a chance in that corner. Souza is there right up against the wall. That fence juts in dramatically. It's just 322 feet away, and Goins hit it just about as deep as you can without it going out of the ballpark.
He almost scraped it over the wall down the right field line. Souza's going to know that he's going to make this catch and then bang into that wall. It's going to be close, but there's some give to it. Told you that he's been playing a good right field. Souza has looked good out there, a good aggressive move there, giving up his body to make the catch.
Number 9 hitter is Darwin Barney. So let me finish up the Harvey Haddix story. Joe Adcock hit a pitch over the fence for a 3-run home run, but Adcock passed Hank Aaron on the bases and was credited with just a double. That's how that game ended.
I think that's where this note comes from. The Pirates are the 2nd team in Major League history whose only hit of a game was a walk-off in extra inning.
That's it. The Harvey Haddix perfect game in '59. Sandy Koufax, of course, had thrown the only perfect game in Dodger history. That came on September 9, 1965. He won a 1-0 game against the Cubs.
You and I were talking about no-hitters this morning. High fastball, and it's interesting, on Tuesday, Doug Fister gave up a home run to the first batter he faced for Cleveland. Lindor hit a home run. Then he threw 9 shutout, no-hit innings the rest of the way. Next day, Rich Hill throws 9 shutout, no-hit innings, and then gives up a home run to the last batter he faces. Crazy.
Barney rips it into center. That is an oddity to have 2 pitchers throw 9 innings of no-hit ball.
Back to back.
Well, we know all about no-hitters and heartbreak. How about the great Dave Steve? No-hitters and near misses. August 24th, the first time in '85. He had a no-hitter into the 9th and lost that. Then he did it in back-to-back starts in '88.
He had the no-hitter in September against Cleveland when that ball bounced over Manny Lee's head off the bat of Julio Franco.
Jim Traber hit a bouncing ball that went for a base hit.
That was in September of '88.
And then the perfect game, 2 outs, and Roberto Kelly hit a double with 2 outs in a perfect game to end that bid. And then finally he got that no-hitter in Cleveland. But he came so close so many times. And you always felt like when Dave Steve went to the mound, there was the chance for something special every time he pitched.
Further fuel for my argument of the greatest Blue Jay. I mean, he came that close to throwing 4 no-hitters in Blue Jay history.
Yeah. And of course, we'll find out that list on Sunday. The 40 best players in 40 years of Blue Jays baseball.
Who else has thrown a no-no for the Blue Jays?
Nobody.
Nobody.
No.
Case closed.
Well, I think, you know, even more so than a no-hitter. I mean, there have been some obscure pitchers that have thrown no-hitters, but none as great as Dave Steve. And you know, he was the franchise best in so many pitching categories, and I think he is the best Blue Jay pitcher, the best Blue Jay player in 40 years in my mind. I mean, there's been so many greats, and you know, it's going to be a great list to see revealed on Sunday. that, you know, it'll be interesting to watch everybody come in here and decide who their favorite players were. Pierce called for strike 2. But I think we could probably narrow it down. I bet you if you ask, you know, 100 people, you'd probably have 12 players within the top 10.
Yes, the same
12 players would be in the top 10 somewhere.
Looked like he was going. Darwin Barney was
a bit late getting back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was going. Darwin is 6 for 6 this season in stolen bases, and he was anxious to go. Cobb's got a high leg kick, and he's got that slow curveball, so I think he was trying to steal it on him.
Inside. Pierce wasn't real anxious to get out of the way of that one. I think he would have hung in there, and if it hit him, that's so what? He'd have been on first.
Yeah, it was a curveball. He saw it out of his hand, and not much give there.
Fouls that one off, and he clipped the catcher again. Sucre is going to have to back up a little bit. I don't know if he's getting too close or if that.
He's getting a little bit too anxious on that curveball. He's
coming after
reaching
it.
out after it.
Tampa Bay leads it 1-0. Sacrifice fly by the shortstop Daniel Robertson. Up and away. Full count. Barney's at first. Donaldson is on deck.
Yeah, you got to figure that he's going to be sending that runner over first base.
Boy, Cobb is throwing a lot of pitches. This next pitch will be 60 pitches already. He's got just one out here in the third.
Pierce has been hitting everything, so start that runner.
Barney's not running. Pulled on the ground. Base hit past Longoria. So Pierce is 2 for 2, and he likes hitting in the leadoff spot. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. With 11 home runs in the month of August, he has tied Josh Donaldson for the lead in the American League in homers this month. First and second, one out. Donaldson had a good rip, bounce it straight back. Gary Sanchez, as Jamie mentioned, 4 home runs in the series. He's 6 for 12 in the series against the Tigers. And over his last 12 games, he's at 9 home runs.
One of those home runs in that series, I think, was the second longest all year. I think Aaron Judge has the longest. I think Sanchez is right behind him after one of those blasts.
I mentioned the home run leaders in the month of August. Sanchez has homered today. He and Donaldson tied with 11, and Nelson Cruz, Joey Gallo, and Manny Machado all tied with 10. The usual customers in that second half surge.
I've got a good feeling about Donaldson today. He looks locked in. He's taking some tough pitches. I have a feeling he might go deep sometime today.
Breaking ball into dirt. One more note on Sanchez. He has 47 home runs in 148 career games. 22 of those 47 home runs have come in the month of August. He has
just came up last year.
Came up last year, middle of the season. He has really come on since Joe Girardi benched him and had a discussion about his focus behind the plate. And it has spurred him to great things at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Josh Donaldson. Strike 3 called. Fastball on the outside corner. And Donaldson asking Jim Reynolds right on the corner. That's the politically correct way to approach the umpire.
Right on the corner. Another fastball for a called strike. Tantalizing with that curveball, but he has that comeback fastball on the outside corner. Donaldson can't believe it, so he's going to just ask him.
5 strikeouts now for Cobb. And he has gotten smoked. Bautista, Morales, Pilar, and Donaldson. Curveball, ball low. One and one to Smoke. Smoke with 34 home runs. That ties him with Jose Cruz Jr. for the most home runs by a switch hitter in franchise history. Ball gets away from Sucre, and the runners are going to move up. Felt like he caught the ball. He didn't react right away, and ball got away from him, and now there are 2 runners in scoring position.
Thought he had it in his glove. He just didn't get down. He's going to get low for that curveball. He looks in his glove and goes, where is it? Well, it looked like it ricocheted off the heel of the glove. And if you're awake and you are aware on the bases, you can move up even though the ball barely leaves the dirt area. Now a chance for a couple of RBIs for Smokey.
Right back with another breaking ball. Look at all those breaking balls. At or below the bottom of the strike zone. If you're Cobb, would you change your approach?
I wouldn't, but I think he has to show him the fastball. At least one of them here. Everything is down, maybe something up before he goes back down.
Fastball off the plate. He tried to hit that inside corner. Now, if I were Cobb right here, I'd throw him 1 fastball upstairs. He's got a base open. He's a power hitter. He's got 34 home runs. If he wants to chase it, go ahead. But I wouldn't throw him another strike.
Can you throw him another breaking ball right here? I mean, he struck him out last time with a breaking ball. But you've got first base open now. Right-handed batter on deck. It's only the 3rd inning. He has thrown 69 pitches already. So he doesn't have many bullets left.
Barney's really got a chance to work his way down the line with Longoria off at 3rd. Breaking ball pulled on the ground. He went back to the breaking ball. That'll end the inning. Cobb gets out of it. The Blue Jays leave a pair of base runners. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. Tampa Bay has a 1-0 lead. nothing. And Pat, he's got a wide assortment of pitches.
Yeah, he's the basic 4-pitch starter. Fastball, curveball, slider, and the changeup. He'll use that fastball 52% of the time. And if you look at the numbers, batting averages against, his fastball has the lowest batting average against. So it's been a good one, and he's had a good one today. His curveball has been a good one too. We've seen that. He's thrown that 19% of the time. So work quickly, use the fastball early in the count, and see if you can finish him off with that breaking ball. Tell you what, he's got the pitcher's body.
Yeah.
6'3", 235. He's got those big, strong legs that he can push off that mound and generate a lot of speed.
Mentioned Koehler was born in the Bronx, grew up in New Rochelle, and went to SUNY, the State University of New York. And Stony Brook is where they got into the NCAA regional tournament when he was a senior. And he signed, and this is the first game he's ever pitched outside of the Marlins organization. Tom's dad was a New York City Police Department sergeant. And they have been New Yorkers throughout their life. And you see Koehler, he's kind of got a no-nonsense approach where he just kind of throws that fastball in there and tries to get ahead with it and then set up that breaking pitch.
Yeah, that's the scouting report. What we have on him, talking to everybody, said he's serious, he's a gamer, he's laser focused when he is on the mound, and you can just see that in his eyes.
Popped up, Montero giving chase over near the screen, and it's out of play. Over the screen. Koehler had quite a season in the minor leagues while pitching for the Marlins in 2010, pitching in Double-A. He was 16-2, tied for the most wins in the minor leagues that season. That fastball on the outside corner. Koehler picks up another strikeout. He's gotten due to twice, both times looking.
The all-new 2017 Civic Si. When it leads off, it leads for good. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful weather down here in the Tampa Bay area. And we are in St. Petersburg, Florida. Blue Jays will return home, and from what I understand, it's cooled off a bit in Toronto. It'll be good to get home. The Minnesota Twins in town for a weekend series, and then the Boston Red Sox follow them into Rogers Center. Seems like forever since the Blue Jays played the Red Sox.
We've only been to Boston once. We haven't seen Minnesota all season long. This will be our first look at the Twins tomorrow night.
Longoria hooks this one foul. Minnesota, they had a lot of new faces, a lot of turnover, and they are 4.5 games back of the Cleveland Indians in the Central Division American League.
But they're in the wild card.
Yes, they are. They are in the wild card race. They are in the second spot in the wild card as we speak. Kansas City half game behind them, tied with the Angels. Then Seattle, Texas, Baltimore, Toronto, Tampa Bay, they follow. Tampa Bay a game ahead of Toronto. Inside, full count to Longoria.
And that is something that we have said a lot already today. Full count. Both pitchers throwing a lot of pitches here through the first 3 innings. A lot of 3-2 counts.
Check swing, the appeal down to first denied, and that'll be ball 4 to Longoria. Second walk issued by Koehler. He's also hit a batter. Here's the wild card standings, and boy, you can see it is a big list of teams within 5 games. The Yankees have a 3.5 game cushion over the Twins. And then it's Kansas City, LA, Seattle, Texas, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Toronto, all within 5 games.
Did you see how Kansas City won last night?
Yes, I did. They got their former closer, Greg Holland.
Yeah, they did.
Hit a walk-off home run. Eric Hosmer hit a walk-off home run. And Greg Holland, who got up to such a great start with the Rockies, he's gone through a real tough stretch lately.
Yes, he has. He hasn't been able to locate and gave up that big home run last night in Kansas City. Don't sleep on the Royals.
Kansas City's won 7 of the last 10. They've scored 57 runs in those 10 games.
They have some guys with the incentive, I think. Hey, this is our last shot at it. Let's give it everything we've got. They've got playoff experience playing in the month of September, and they've reinforced their team pitching wise with some trades.
Yeah, they have done a nice job. And mentioned the Greg Holland surrendering the home run to Eric Hosmer. This ball is fouled out of play by Morrison. Holland has allowed 12 runs over 5 innings in his last 6 appearances. And everybody was ready to jettison Roberto Osuna when he had a little bit of a rough stretch, but all closers go through it from time to time.
Got off to such a great start for Colorado. Hot start. He doesn't even lead the major leagues in saves anymore.
Holland had blown 3 of his last 4 save opportunities, having been 34 of 35 prior to that. Breaking ball missed. It's now 2-2. Logan Morrison, he flew out to right field to end the first inning. Pops this one up. It's playable. Smoked the first baseman. In foul territory, makes the catch 2 away. This time of the year, there are a lot of call-ups, a lot of guys that clubs want to take a look at, trying to sort things out. Some guys are coming up to help their team, like Rafael Devers of the Red Sox. Rhys Hoskins has come up and played left field for the Phillies. Today he hit his 8th home run.
Hit another one already today?
Already. He is a natural first baseman. He has 8 home runs in 50 at-bats.
Was that the kid who hit like 40 in AA last year?
They had 2 players last year at Reading in the AA Eastern League. They hit 40 home runs. Hoskins was one of them, and they have made the transition. He's 6'4", weighs 225, and he is hit his 8th home run since coming up from the minors.
This might be an audition. Speaking of auditions, for the Blue Jays starting rotation, Tom Koehler for the rest of the season. Pitches well. You might see him through the rest of the season.
Chris Rowley was optioned back to AAA Buffalo, so Koehler could be put on the 25-man roster. And when rosters expand in September, we're going to see some more players. Joe Biagini threw well his last outing, and he's going to be called back up and will probably make a start on his next homestand at some point.
There's going to be a decision to make tomorrow. Nick Tepish is eligible to come off the paternity list tomorrow. Joe Biagini is waiting in the wings.
The breaking ball missed. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Stroman, who has basically dealt with that finger issue since the start in New York way back in July, and he pitched through it again in last night's game and certainly deserved a better fate. He has now had 10 no decisions. And he was in line for his 12th win, but they tied it up. Souza showing great patience in this at bat. He walked his first time against Koehler. Longoria, the runner at first, will be moving on the pitch. It's 3-2, 2 outs. There goes the runner. Strike 3 called. Souza called out on strikes. 5 strikeouts for Koehler. Tampa Bay leaves another base runner. We'll head to the 4th. The Rays have a 1-0 lead. And it has been quite a struggle for Jose in the second half of the season. When you look at his batting average, first half he hit .234, but it's really dropped off dramatically in the second half, batting just .160. For the season, Jose has 20 home runs and 54 RBIs. Certainly not a typical Bautista type of season by any means.
No, they moved him into that leadoff spot about the 3rd week of June just to try to jumpstart this offense and jumpstart his average. Since that All-Star game, he's under 200. He's dropped his season average to 211. Still hitting with some power at 20 home runs. I think that's what they want to see right now. Let me see how far you can hit it, how many home runs you can hit, how many RBIs you can have. Forget about the batting average.
Jose took a called strike 3 his first time up. Foul tipped that into the catcher's mitt. Ball on a strike. Cobb has 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. Blue Jays have managed just 3 hits. Curveball catches the outside corner. Well, there are a lot of different moving parts to Cobb's delivery on the windup. He gets his upper half going in one direction, lower half's going in another direction. There's a lot of rhythm to that delivery as he unloads the pitch.
Kicks that foot right at the batter like he's going to kick at it and then swings it all the way around. I've been watching to see, because he's had so many moving parts, does he give away certain pitches? Does he raise his hands a little bit sooner on his breaking ball? Does he stay back a little bit longer on that splitter? I haven't been able to see anything, but you're right, lots of moving parts in that windup.
Bautista breaks his bat, and Robertson's going to make the play on the little flare into left field. 1 away.
Got to be difficult for a hitter. Watch how that front side, he kicks it at the batter, starts, stops, and then he wheels and he spins and he turns. He hides the ball well, and he's got 3 pitches that are all above average, so you can't really sit on any of them.
It's really interesting how much he recoils in that delivery off that landing foot. Just pushes back off of it and actually goes away from home plate as opposed to going towards home plate.
They were talking about that in the newspaper today, about his finish, his right foot, when he follows through, how his right foot really slams into the pitching mound. Watch the right foot. That one was a little bit easier because of the curveball, but he really comes around, and you were talking about recoil, but that back leg comes down and really slams into that dirt area. That's what aggravated his toe to put him on the disabled list.
Bouncing ball out in front of home. Cobb picks it up, and Morales is retired. 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th. Both pitchers really haven't had their great command early in this ball game. There have been 12 full counts in this game through the first 3 innings.
And if you're on a pitch count, and if you're on that 100 pitch barrier, you're not going to be around past the 5th inning. So the hitters have done a good job of being patient.
Kevin Pillar struck out on a breaking ball his first time up. Ball in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Pillar 7 for 19 on the road trip. Has a home run and a pair of doubles. The home run was the game winner in last night's game. Kevin has hit .231 against right-handed pitching for the season. Ground ball. Robertson waits at shortstop. Across the diamond in time. Cobb 3 up, 3 down. Blue Jays go down in order in top of the 4th. Dickerson, Sucre, and Miller will face Tom Koehler when we come back.
Instilled in him that playing good defense is just as important as what you do at the plate, which is why his father would hit him 100 ground balls and throw him picks as a young boy after his hitting exercises. Smoke believes too many dads out there are too focused on hitting and not playing both sides of the ball well. Now, one of the biggest things for Smoke is that he uses one hand, his glove hand, when fielding. He feels like when he uses his throwing hand and that gets involved, it gets in the way sometimes, he tells me. When minor leaguers come to Dunedin to work out with Smoke, he encourages them to scoop or swipe the baseball with one hand. With the size of a first baseman's glove, trying to field it cleanly can be a little bit of a challenge when you use both hands, and Bucket seems to be working for Smoke.
Well, it sure does, Hazen. We'd mentioned that he has set a consecutive errorless game streak for a single season. He has played 105 consecutive errorless games this season. Committed his only error of the season April 21st out in Anaheim against the Angels, and hadn't made an error since. The overall consecutive errorless streak for the Blue Jays at first base is 119 games. It covers 2 seasons. Carlos Delgado has that record from June of 2001 to April of 2002.
corner infield positions, as that ball is popped up, they're one-handed positions. And the reason they're one-handed positions, you're quicker with just one hand. You get thrown off balance trying to field a ground ball on the corners, first and third base, with two hands. Throws your body off balance.
All you got to do is just reach over and try to pick something up with one hand and then try to pick it up with two hands. It's much more challenging.
Yeah.
Not as flexible.
It throws you off balance. You end up falling down. So Luis Rivera is real big on that, about fielding the baseball with one hand, especially when you're learning a new position.
Jesus Sucre had a base hit his first time up. He takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-1. Tampa Bay has taken the lead. Daniel Robertson with a sacrifice fly in the second inning. Drove home Cory Dickerson. The Rays had just one hit in that inning. They took advantage of a walk, a fielder's choice, a hit batter, and used the sac fly. Sucre had the only hit in that inning. Came with one out. That's exactly the same spot he got his first hit. Ground ball through the hole at shortstop.
Just out of the reach this time of Ryan Goins, who's playing shortstop today. He might have to take a couple of steps. He was right when Sucre comes up next time. Another fastball, another ground ball to the left side, another ball that makes it into the outfield.
Just middle down that fastball, and Sucre is 2 for 2. Brad Miller got hit by a pitch. He got hit in the back by Koehler with 2 strikes back in that second inning. He goes after the first pitch. This is a fly ball in left field. Pierce is there, and he makes the catch. Steve Pierce making his 70th start in left field. It was thought that when they signed him, he would split time at first base with Justin Smoke, and they would flip-flop. In fact, Smoke did not even start on opening day. He wasn't even in the lineup. Pierce played first base, and then Smoke got a chance, got off to a good start, and now Pierce is the left fielder. Smoke's the everyday first baseman.
Remember, Pierce didn't play a lot in the outfield in spring training because of the elbow problem that he was coming off of some surgery. And we saw him maybe 3 or 4 times in the outfield. He has looked more comfortable the more games that he has played out there. Steve also has picked up 2 outfield assists this season.
As he mentioned, just 70 starts in left field. He's had 2 assists. He's committed just 2 errors. Daniel Robertson has driven in the only run of this game. Sacrifice fly. Robertson's late on that fastball. Fastball away. Robertson was originally signed by the Oakland Athletics. He came to Tampa Bay in a trade with John Jaso, Boog Powell for Yunel Escobar and Ben Zobrist. Pretty good trade for both ball clubs.
Oakland got what they wanted, a veteran. Tampa Bay got what they wanted, some young players.
Robertson strikes out. The Rays leave another base runner. They've stranded 4 so far in this game. It's a 1-0 game. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Kevin Barker in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Join us for Blue Jays Back to School Day. The first 10,000 kids 14 and under entering Rogers Center will receive this back to school backpack. Then sit back and watch the Blue Jays host the Minnesota Twins at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, as always, visit BlueJays.com.
Thank you very much, Hazel, as we head to the 5th inning, and the Blue Jays fans looking forward to that great giveaway. Daniel Robertson, we focused on him as he's moved from shortstop to second base. And with that, Adani Echeverria has taken over defensively at shortstop. Brad Miller was hit by a pitch earlier in this game, and we're not sure, but we might think that that had something to do with his leaving this ball game here in the 5th inning.
Feeling the effects of that ball that was looked like around his shoulder blade area, so he is now out of the ball game. Maybe that last swing, he was a little bit tardy on that ball, flew out to left field. So his afternoon is over.
There's a fly ball. Dickerson running into foul ground, and he just flat out ran out of room. He gave it everything he had, but it's out of play over that wall down there in left. One nothing game. Hits are even at 3 apiece. The Rays have stranded 5. The Blue Jays have left 3. Miguel Montero find out the left field his first time up. Montero checking as to whether it was a called strike or a swinging strike. I think it could have been both.
Yeah, he knew he was going to have a strike. He just wanted to know which one was it. Was that high enough, or did I swing at it? Cobb looks like he's starting to zero in a little bit better.
Curveball, he bounces in the dirt. 1-2 now.
Now, with that said, he is closing in on 90 pitches, and he's just coming off the disabled list. He hasn't pitched since August the 5th. So some action down in the pen for the Rays.
Fastball, and Montero is late. So the bullpen is going to work. That's Steve Cishek, the big right-hander who is loosening up. Cishek pitched the 9th inning and retired the side in order with a couple of strikeouts in last night's game. Cobb has up to 87 pitches now.
I think the Rays were prepared for this start by Cobb. They didn't know what to expect, being on the disabled list for as long as he had. So they made a couple of pitching moves after the ball game last night. Took some of the relievers who pitched in the game last night and sent them out.
They sent out Chase Whitley and Andrew Kittredge. They activated Cobb. He took one of the spots, and they also called up Che-Wee Hu, who is in the bullpen for Tampa Bay.
So you make those moves in anticipation that Cobb might only be able to go 5 innings this afternoon, and that's what it looks like.
Montero takes ball 4, leadoff walk here in the 5th.
Get 3 times the Aeroplan miles this summer by shopping at Home Hardware. 4 days only from August 23rd to 26th.
Well, if you can't be sitting on the beach enjoying a beautiful afternoon, you might as well be at the ballpark, and it's a good game. It's a 1-0 game. This is the final game of 19 between the Rays and the Jays this season. And the Jays have already clinched the season series. They've won 10 of the first 18 they have played. It's only the 2nd time in the last 10 years the Blue Jays have won the season series against the Rays. Tampa Bay has always been a tough opponent for the Blue Jays. In fact, they have their lowest winning percentage against the Rays.
Especially here at this ballpark. It's just been tough on Toronto.
Goins pulls it through the right side. Montero thought about going to third. He will stop there as ball comes in all the way to Longoria at third base. So Goins has a base hit, a walk, and a single now.
I think he would have made it. challenging Souza. You don't want to make the first or the last out over at third base, but Souza has to go a long way here. Actually has to come in and then spin around to make that throw, and it was offline. Souza really plays into the gap in right center field more than anybody right fielder that we have seen this season. So he had a long way to come after that baseball. But Montero plays it safe and just moves up to second base.
Longoria is involved in a lot of this conversation. Obviously, they're discussing the possibility of a bunt. So Cobb getting some instruction from Jim Hickey, the pitching coach. The infield was involved. So most of that discussion in my mind was about the defense for the bunt play.
That's right. If Darwin Barney squares around the bunt, what are we going to do with the ball? The runner at second base doesn't have a lot of speed, so I don't think the Blue Jays are going to be bunting here. They might be bunting right into an out.
Well, the best way to help out a base runner at second is to bunt it to the third baseman, pull him away from that bag. Barney, he singled to center his first time up. Longoria creeping in at third. Same for Duda at first. He squares to bunt, pulls the bat back, throw to second. Echeverria couldn't hang on to it, and they might have had Montero. Sucre's got a strong arm and threw it right on top of the base at second.
And he's quick too. That is a tough play for that base runner because you want to get out there, and if the batter bunts through it, you got to change courses and hustle back. You don't want to be left out to dry. Sucre thought he had him.
Echeverria just into the game defensively at shortstop. Barney shortens up quick and bunts it to the pitcher. They're going to go to third, and they'll get Montero as Barney didn't get it close to the line, and Cobb got off the mound, made a good play, and that's going to be it for Alex Cobb. Kevin Cash has made the call to the bullpen already. So Cobb will be out of this game, having thrown 93 pitches in his return to the 25-man roster. He leaves with the lead, but he leaves without qualifying for the win. Steve Cishek on to face Josh Donaldson. Pitching change here in St. Petersburg. Steve Cishek comes on in relief of Alex Cobb. Runners at first and second. I got ahead of myself. He'll face Steve Pearce and not Josh Donaldson with one out.
Steve Cishek pitched in last night's game. The same three batters that he faced last night in the 9th inning. He'll face here in the 5th inning. Struck out Pearce, struck out Donaldson, and got smoked to ground out. The Rays as an organization, if that starter is struggling, they don't like that starter to face that team for the 3rd time.
Kiermaier makes a terrific catch. Oh my! Goins was all the way to third. Barney was all the way to second. That looked like 2 for sure, maybe a triple. But Kiermaier absolutely outran the baseball and makes a terrific catch to take extra bases away from Steve Pearce.
I have talked to some of the Tampa Bay people over the last couple of days about the importance of Kevin Kiermaier on this team. And they said not just offensively, but what he brings defensively. Saving runs like this. He got into that sprint so quickly and hustled into the gap and took away extra bases. That's 2 runs for the Blue Jays. And you want to talk about defensive run saves. Nobody has had that many defensive run saves than that guy right there.
And he's tapping that gold label on his glove that signifies he's a 2-time Gold Glover. He got up and he said to Souza, "That's why I got this, baby." He won Gold Gloves in 15 and 16, and he wears that Rawlings Gold Glove patch on his glove, and he took 2 runs away from the Blue Jays.
That's why I love that stat that they have. Defensive runs saved. Well, he just saved 2 right there with an incredible catch.
So now there are 2 outs. Donaldson takes a breaking ball outside. It's 1-1. Boy, obviously there are great athletes all around baseball playing center field, but it's hard to imagine that anybody covers as much ground as Kevin Kiermaier. And he looks like he's covering a lot of ground. He's fast, he's got great strides, great instincts, and he can run them down. Breaking ball, that was off the plate, broke all the way over the inside corner.
Coming into this game today, now he has missed 65 games this year, but he's had 11 defensive runs saved. That's 3rd among Major League center fielders behind Byron Buxton and, of course, Kevin Pillar. Pillar has 16 this season.
Outside, Sucre looked like he might have got crossed up.
I want to talk about that one.
Yeah, he's going to go out to the mound, and he wasn't really sure what pitch he was going to get, but fortunately for him and for the Rays, he caught it. Watch his reaction behind home. Yikes, look out. He was expecting that ball to break.
That ball caught him.
He almost caught it right in the mask. See, he was blessing himself as he went back to home plate. He was expecting the slider and got the express. Two and 2 to Donaldson. The appeal down to first denied by Brian Knight. Donaldson will have another pitch. Full count, 2 outs.
Slider.
Blue Jays might have got a break. So the runners will be moving on this pitch. Goins from second, Barney from first. There they go. Slider ripped down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Goins is in to score. Here comes Barney. The relay from Echeverria is not in time. Lance Barrett, the third base umpire, was in between. He wasn't sure which hand he wanted to wave, and he waved his right hand and signaled fair. That ball hit right close to the foul line. Longoria, the third baseman, turned immediately and said, "We got to check that one." But Donaldson, a 2-run double on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs, and Longoria's insistent that the Rays check it.
Yeah, he is making the universal signal to check that. He was telling them, you got to check it. He had a close vision of that right over his head.
So Donaldson, for the time being, has a double and 2 RBIs, and the Blue Jays have the lead. But now they will go under the headset, communicate with New York. Home plate umpire Jim Reynolds is the crew chief. Josh Donaldson said, "Yeah, it's fair." He just saw the replay on the big scoreboard.
Isn't that funny? Everybody in Tampa is saying foul. Everybody in the Blue Jays dugout is saying fair. Normally you'll see some chalk kick up, but you don't have it here.
Wow, that is close. what you see kick up, those black sand and rubber granules that are part of this artificial surface here. Boy, I'm glad I'm not making that call.
Yeah.
All you got to do is touch that line. All you have to do is touch that foul line. And here's the swing.
Josh thought it was foul. He says, no, it's fair. And if I'm honest with myself watching that replay, honestly, that looked foul to me.
It did to me too. But all you need is that ball to touch that white line. And you made a great point about the chalk, because years ago those lines used to be chalk. They would lay down chalk. Now they are mostly painted, especially in the outfield. And the umpires, they have the ruling. Foul ball.
Foul ball.
Wow. So the runs are going to come off the board. Donaldson will come back to home plate, and we're going to do it all again. Now John Gibbons is out to talk to Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire. And he said, "Are you sure?" He said, "No, I'm not sure, but those people in New York are."
Just get a little bit of an exclamation. You know, when you see a player like Evan Longoria, who's been around forever, adamant as he was coming in, saying, you got to check this. You know, I think, you know, a player like that is not going to come in and ask his manager to look at it if he isn't 100% sure.
Now watch Donaldson's reaction as well. He sees it and says, "Oh, that's a foul ball." And then he sees the call and he turns it on. So you're right. Two veterans, they have seen that ball so many times. And Longoria came all the way in from third, walking toward the dugout, and says, "Man, that's a foul ball. You got to check it." And indeed, they overturned the call on the field. We talk about two of the best third basemen in the major leagues, Longoria and Donaldson, and they both had an impact on that last play. And look at Longoria walking in and says, "Check it. That was foul." And he's not hesitating. He wants them to check it. He's not even waiting for them to look at it. But I saw him with my own 2 eyes.
Now Josh Donaldson's got to regroup here. He thought he had a 2-run double. Now he's got to regroup again and focus.
Again, runners will be moving on the pitch. There they go. Donaldson fouls this one off. Going to do it once again. Cishek trying to close out the Jays. And he walks Donaldson. A 3-2 fastball away. Donaldson draws the walk. That loads the bases. That'll bring Justin Smoke to the plate. Goins is at third. Barney at second.
Smokey has come up big for the Blue Jays all season long. Had a chance to do it again. Grounded out against Cishek in last night's game.
Cishek on in relief of Alex Cobb. First pitch upstairs. Blue Jays trail 1-0. We're in the 5th. Lefties really haven't fared that well against Cishek, and you'd think it wouldn't be the case. They've hit just 182 against him. Sidearm delivery, everything's coming into the hitter, but he's handled him very well.
This is a big pitch for him right here.
3-0. Blue Jays had a bases loaded walk on Sunday against the Cubs in the 10th inning. One of 2 runs they would score in that inning, only to lose it in the bottom of the 10th. There's a strike now. 3-1. Cobb started. He went 4 1/3. Fouled straight back into the catcher's mitt.
3-2 again. Runners are going to be off. They didn't play Smoke in the pull situation last night when he grounded out. He grounded out to the shortstop. They were not in that shift position. This afternoon they are.
Runners are going. Smoke hits it in the air. Long run for Kiermaier is going to get there. Oh my! Kiermaier ran for days to get to that pop-up. He takes a hit away from Pierce, a liner to center field, and then just runs under it and dives to catch that pop-up off the bat. This is how you win Gold Gloves, folks. Kevin Kiermaier, 2 great catches here in the 5th inning. That one off the bat of Pierce. This one off the bat of Smoke. It's still a 1-run game because of Kevin Kiermaier. With a hip injury, but boy, since he's come back, he has ignited them with the bat and with the glove.
Well, last night a couple of home runs, and then that inning right there, we're talking about defensive run save. He saved 2 on the Pierce ball and probably 3 on that one. So 5 runs he saves all by himself with his glove, and that's why they say he is one of the most valuable players on this team, because he's a two-way player. And wouldn't you know it, he'll be leading off.
How about that? Smoke with a 3-2 count hit a pop-up. The runners were going, and you're right, if it hits safely, it's going to bounce in the air. All 3 runs will score. But they didn't, because Kiermaier made 2 outstanding catches. He bunts through that first pitch, and it's strike 1. Kiermaier has struck out twice against Koehler. Koehler has 6 punch-outs to this point. Coming into this game, Tom Koehler had the highest earned run average in all of baseball for pitchers who have made 12 starts. He hasn't pitched like that today. Kiermaier flies out. He's 0 for 3. Only Homer Bailey of the Reds has a higher ERA than Tom Koehler, but he has pitched very well here this afternoon. Worked out of some tough jams. He's had base runners on in each of his first 4 innings, but it's a 1-0 game.
With the new team, you know, you want to make a good impression with your new team, and you're facing the Rays, so you're a little bit amped and a little pumped up. His fastball has been good all afternoon long, and his breaking ball has been good.
Bounces that first pitch changeup to Lucas Duda. Duda has struck out twice. Both called strike 3s.
One on a curveball, one on a fastball. Both of them 3-2 counts. Here comes another change.
Didn't get to call. It's 2-0. could have been a strike, but it's not. 3-0 now. 1 out. Brad Boxberger starting to loosen up in the Rays bullpen. Oh, he drops that curveball in there for strike 2.
Got Duda talking to himself right now. How do you drop that thing against me? 3-2 and 3-1. This guy's a dead red fastball hitter, so you have to change speeds on him.
He gets caught looking. Third time he's gone down, taking strike 3. That's 7 strikeouts for Koehler.
I think Miguel Montero has done a pretty good job working him through this lineup. So many of these hitters are taking pitches. I think that's a reflection of Montero, who understands hitting, understands what the Rays are trying to do, reading bats, and he's calling the right pitches.
Koehler with 7 strikeouts. His career high is 10. He's had 2 10-strikeout games. The last September 9th of 2015 against the Brewers. Longoria hits it to right. Bautista's on the run. It is over his head off the wall. Longoria will jog into second with a 2-out double. Longoria's 32nd double of the season. Longoria's hit the ball hard to right field.
He hasn't had any problem against Tom Koehler today. He's had a couple of hits and a walk. He's been on base all 3 times. Fastball. That's Longoria right there. He's had more hits against the Blue Jays than any team that he has played against. Shows you why. Hits the ball from foul line to foul line. Gets this one over the head of Bautista, who can't get back there to haul it in.
So Longoria, a 2-out double. He's at second for Logan Morrison. Morrison's 0 for 2. Koehler, 7 strikeouts, ties his season high. He had 7 strikeouts on the 6th of July, pitching against the Cardinals in St. Louis. He trails 1-0. That's the first extra base hit the Rays have gotten today. 3 singles and a double.
He has left a runner on base every inning. He's come up with some good pitches when he needs to. Infield's going to be playing deep now. Anything on the ground, they've got to be able to knock it down and keep it in the infield and keep this a 1-run game.
There's a right-handed batter on deck in Souza Jr. So you don't have to be overly aggressive here.
And you got to figure Logan Morrison's got the green light. If he decides to challenge him with a fastball here, 3-0. Throws him a breaking ball.
I don't mind that at all. Throw him a breaking ball and walks him. So he has a better matchup now with Souza, but before that, let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Whit Merrifield hit a leadoff home run in that ball game for the Royals, and the Royals are gaining some momentum in that wild card race. Kansas City now 64 and 61. They've won 3 in a row. They're only 5 back in the Central race. They're in 3rd place. In the wild card race, they start action a half game behind Minnesota for the 2nd wild card berth.
They know how to play in September. They've got a lot of veterans, and they won a game last night on a walk-off. And that just gives you a little bit more of a jolt as you get ready for the day game today.
Colorado has lost 23 of their last 29 road games after starting out terrific on the road. And Souza gets drilled. That inside fastball, and he is hurting. You might have caught him right in the rib cage, and he is down at home plate.
That looked like one of those that you get hit up around the shoulder area and your whole left side goes numb. Your arm, you can see him grabbing his left arm where the whole thing just goes numb.
Right in that crease between your arm and shoulder, and he's going to sit there and see if he can't get the feeling back. So he will go to first base, and that hit batter will load the bases again. So no problems. First two batters, 2 outs, and then Longoria doubled. Morrison walked, and now Souza gets hit by a pitch.
Almost about the same spot that Brad Miller got hit earlier in the game from Koehler.
That's a tough spot. A lot of soft tissue there, and it's going to be really sore. And of course, they lost Miller earlier in the game. He was hit by a pitch and had to be taken out of the game. Echeverria came off the bench. You have 2 outfielders in Borges and Koehler still available on their bench, but Souza will go to first. So Cory Dickerson, a left-handed hitter, he scored the only run of this game. That was in the second. Reached on a fielder's choice, came around to score on the sac fly.
Well, you know, everything's okay when you can joke about it. Looked like Souza was faking like he was going to go out to the mound. Had a little chuckle with the home plate umpire Jim Reynolds.
Breaking ball just missed the outside corner. It's a ball and a strike to Dickerson. Souza plays the game hard. He's had a terrific season, and that one's going to hurt. It's going to leave a mark.
Especially this time of the year. You're all banged up and you're tired from playing every day. Dickerson was all over that changeup. 82 miles an hour, and he saw it and wanted to look for a grand slam on that swing.
Dominic Leone should just about be ready by now. He has thrown for the last 5-6 minutes. That should be enough time for him to get ready. 1-2 to Dickerson. Fastball hit in the air, but out of play. Big point of the ball game, obviously, in a 1-0 game. So Montero and Koehler trying to figure out how to get out of this bases loaded situation.
High fastball is an option. He's had a great curveball too. He's got to take a chance at trying to use that curveball to get out of this inning.
Montero's made some good blocks this afternoon on those breaking balls in the dirt. With the high fastball, it's now 2-2. Another high fastball. It's a full count. He's thrown some 3-2 breaking balls earlier in this game, and I know it's a gamble, but it might be the right pitch.
He's thrown some beauties to Lucas Duda, and the hitter Cory Dickerson is just like Duda.
3-2 pitch, runners are going. There's the breaking ball hit into left, and Pierce is there and makes the catch. Koehler gets out of it. He's done a terrific job all afternoon avoiding major damage, and he strands the bases loaded to keep it a one-run game. When we come back, Jose Bautista will lead things off, then Kendrys Morales and Kevin Pillar. 1-0 Rays lead it as we head to the 6th.
Greatest Blue Jays. Our panel of baseball experts voted and will reveal the top 40 Blue Jays since 1977. Jamie Campbell, Jerry Howarth, Stephen Brunt, and Jeff Blair host 40 in 40. That's Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sportsnet. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. That'll be a very interesting show to see who the experts have selected as the top 40 Blue Jays players in franchise history. And Pat and I both believe the top player is Dave Stieb, #1. And I think we'll probably agree on 10, 12 of the first 10 spots, probably the same players.
I bet you could get 10 guys and say, give me your top 5, and they get 3 of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Brad Boxberger into the ball game. This is the first time that we have seen Boxberger in this series. The former closer for the Tampa Bay Rays will take over here in this one-run game. He's got a good fastball and an excellent changeup. He could also throw that slider. Boxberger has had a couple of seasons as closer for Tampa Bay. Most recently in 2015, he saved 41 games.
Inside. Boxberger, you mentioned he has led the American League in saves. This year, Alex Kiermaier leads the majors. The Rays have never had a closer lead the majors in saves. Kiermaier is doing that as we speak. Boxberger falls behind 2-1 to Bautista.
Been battling some injuries over the last couple of seasons. He was an all-star in 2015 when he led the American League in saves with 41. Just 27 appearances last season.
Three and one. Talk about 40 and 40. Bautista is going to be in the top 10. No question about it. Fouls it back. Two-time home run champ, and he's right there 1, 2, 3 in the top offensive categories and many of the offensive categories for the Blue Jays.
He has spent a long time in Toronto. He has meant a lot to this team and the resurgence of its winning ways the last couple of seasons.
Bouncing ball, big hop for Echeverria at short. He goes in time. Bautista's retired, one out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Tigers have some guys that are having pretty good years under the radar. Justin Upton is his 27th home run today. Upton has 91 RBIs. He's had a terrific season for Detroit and a very disappointing team season. Morales waves at that first pitch.
Castellanos has had a pretty decent season for the Tigers also.
Castellanos has 72 RBIs. He has hit a double today. Kendrys Morales is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. A 1-0 ball game. Both clubs with just 4 hits. Ground ball up the middle. Echeverria behind the bag at second. Throws out Morales. Tom Koehler making his first start for the Blue Jays. He left the bases loaded. He gets the handshakes in the dugout. A nice effort by Koehler. He and Montero teamed up very effectively here this afternoon.
Got a nice little hug from his catcher today. They worked well. Yeah, he worked in and out of trouble, but it's a 1-run game. That's the bottom line. Give your team a chance to win the game.
Blue Jays, really interesting how this game goes from day to day, isn't it? They haven't scored a run. Yesterday they hit 6 home runs. Today they have 4 hits. They have 4 singles. Cobb was the starter. Cishek worked 2/3 of an inning. Now Brad Boxberger pitching here in the 6th. Pop up into the outfield. Robertson goes back, and that's the inning. Boxberger, no problem. 3 up, 3 down. He retires the side in order. This afternoon, and it was pretty impressive. He threw 98 pitches over 5 innings, scattered 4 hits, 3 singles and a double. The only run came in on a sacrifice fly back in the 2nd inning. And yeah, he was in trouble. He had base runners on every inning, but in the 5th he stranded the bases loaded, and he's kept his team in the ballgame. The 7 strikeouts ties his season high.
Just 4 hits in those 5 innings to go along with the 7 punch outs. So Koehler, I think you give him a a very good effort in his debut with the Blue Jays. Now it's up to the bullpen to keep it a one-run game. First one out, Dominic Leone. This is the 51st game for Leone. He's closing fast on his career high in games. He did that his rookie season in 2014 with Seattle when he had 57 games pitched. He's 3-0 with his .268 earned run average. Leone has been used a lot lately. Not full innings. Been using them to get out of innings.
He's done a nice job, and he's been a real pleasant surprise. Dominic's just 25 years old. He's got some good baseball ahead of him. Hey, Souza Jr has half of the Rays' hits this afternoon. A couple of ground balls through the left side of the infield.
And they have him pulled over just a little bit more. Goins at shortstop. That's where he has pulled the ball. Sucre, yeah, right there, right where Goins is standing. That's where the ball has gone. Leone worked a third of an inning on Saturday in Chicago. Came back with another inning on Sunday. The Blue Jay had an off day on Monday. Threw an inning on Tuesday and then was off yesterday. So he's been used a lot lately by John Gibbons and the Jays.
He's done a nice job of keeping himself strong, and he's maintained his velocity.
His breaking ball's been good. We had a chance to chat with Pete Walker today. Pete was talking about Dominic, that he has really come on strong this season. His fastball's been good.
And there's the breaking ball for the strikeout. So Leone strikes out the first man he faces here in the 6th.
Sucre 2 for 2 before this at bat. Leone places that break. You see how the sharp break and late break. That's how you pick up a lot of strikeouts.
Well, because he has that good velocity on his fastball, hitters have a tendency to start their swing. And then they'll be out in front of that breaking ball. That's real late on that 96-mile-an-hour heater. Echeverria came into the game as a defensive replacement for Brad Miller. This is his first plate appearance. Miller was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning, had another at bat in the 4th, but then left the ball game. Echeverria started both games at shortstop prior to this afternoon's ball game. Fouls it back.
You can just see the confidence in Dominic Leone, can't you? Every time he takes the mound for the Blue Jays, been pitching later and later in ball games and more important innings, important ball games for the Jays.
Yeah, I think the Blue Jays have found a real fixture for the back end of their bullpen in Dominic Leone.
Oh, he's young, throws hard. He's got a pitch that he can strike you out with, and that's that hard breaking ball that we've seen. He's a controllable player. He hasn't had a lot of time in the major leagues.
This is his 146th career game in the big leagues, and 57 of those came in his rookie season in 2014.
You never know what you're going to find on the waiver wire. Dominic was claimed off waivers by the Blue Jays last November.
From Arizona. He had been traded from Seattle to Arizona in the deal that included Mark Trumbo. That was in June of 2015. Echeverria swings at that breaking ball in the dirt, and that's the 2nd strikeout, 2 away.
Canada's favorite car cheers for Canada's favorite team, Honda. Proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
That is the Sunshine Skyway connecting St. Petersburg to Bradenton. Crosses Tampa Bay, a beautiful bridge, and this will be the final day for the Blue Jays in Florida this season. Trying to win the series. They trail 1-0. They split the first 2 games. Blue Jays won 7-6 last night. The Rays won 6-5 in the opener. Well, he made a good point about Leon. You can see his body language and see how confident he is. He gets the ball back, slaps it in his glove, looks for his sign, and anxious to throw the next pitch.
Work quickly. Finish him off. Yeah, you start seeing guys walking around the mound and taking their hat off and looking up in the stands and everything like that. That just, you know, to me at least, it shows that they don't have a lot of confidence. They're not really sure what they want to do. Dominic's not that way. As this season goes along, he gets a little bit more confident. He works a little quicker, and he's been pitching great.
Off the plate, down and away. 2-2. Then Robertson has the only RBI in this game, as we mentioned, a sac fly in the second inning. He struck out in the 4th. What a job by Leon. He comes in the 6th and strikes out the side. Still a 1-0 ball game. Montero will lead things off for the Blue Jays when we come back. Candidate to London Gatwick at WestJet.com or call your travel agent. Now time for the schedule ahead, brought to you by WestJet. Blue Jays wrap up this 3-game series here in Tampa Bay. Go home, the Twins are in town. First time the Blue Jays will see the Twins all season long, a 3-game series. Then the Boston Red Sox come in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Blue Jays go on the road. They wrap up August by playing a game in Baltimore, 3-game series against the Orioles. Miguel Montero, 4-game series against Baltimore, excuse me.
This weekend is Players Weekend. And you mentioned we're playing the Minnesota Twins. We'll get Bartolo Colon tomorrow night. You know what that means? His nickname on the back of his jersey.
That hasn't been approved?
That hasn't been approved yet. Okay, then I won't
use
say
that
it.
name.
I won't say it.
Oh,
then.
I'll say it. His nickname is Big Sexy, but they won't let him put it on the back of his uniform. Come on.
Really?
He is Big Sexy. Little squibber up the third baseline. That's going to be foul. Yeah, but the players get to put their nicknames on the back. And Tommy Hunter, the big reliever for the Rays. He has one of my favorites. It's a great nickname. His nickname is Tommy Two Towel. One towel's not big enough.
I asked the coaches today, I said, do you guys get to put nicknames on your jerseys over the weekend? And they all said yes.
That'll be interesting to see some of those names. Montero drives it into center. There's nothing out there, boys. You can't hit it out there. It's going to be an out. We have seen that all afternoon.
If it stays in the ballpark, chances are Kiermaier is going to catch it. Montero hit that ball hard, but he hit right at the Gold Glover.
So 1 out for Ryan Goins. Goins is 1 for 2. So Goins, I would imagine, will be Go-Go tomorrow. He'll have his nickname on the back.
Do we have nicknames? Should we go with nicknames?
No, we're not going with nicknames. We are not in uniform.
Should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. And it got off on it began last Sunday in Williamsport, where the Pirates and the Cardinals played. They had their uniforms that they will wear this weekend. They wore them in that game, the Little League Classic. And I like the colors. They're great color schemes. Going to be different, of course, and seems to be a lot of neon colors involved in the unis, and that's going to be a 3-game affair. On the uniforms as well, there will be a patch that says thanks, and then it has a space underneath it for the players to acknowledge someone that's had an impact in their careers, whether it's a coach or a family member or a brother or somebody that they have met on the path to the big leagues that has a positive impact in their careers.
See, I think that's so cool, because every player has had somebody who's been an influence for them.
Fly ball to left field. Dickerson makes the play. Goins has retired. Boxberger has retired 5 in a row since coming in. So Ezekiel Carrera will come to the plate. He's going to bat for Darwin Barney. Barney finishes up 1 for 2 with a single. Carrera has been a good bat off the bench, batting .294 for the season.
You know what? He has that ability, Buck, to sit around for a couple of days and then come in and hit line drives all over the place. His swing is just conducive for that. There's not a lot of moving parts. It's a very simple swing. And he knows that when he pinch hits, he's got 3 strikes. So take advantage of all 3.
He has a pinch hit home run this season. He takes ball 2.
He has been driving balls to left field a long way lately. I'm watching Cory Dickerson, the left fielder. He looks very shallow for me. This is the tying run at the plate, so you don't want anything over your head for extra bases.
Herrera might have chased the ball. 2-1 now. 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning. The Rays have a 1-0 lead. Brad Boxberg came in to start the 6th inning. He's retired 5 straight. That's just foul outside of first.
See what I mean? I mean, Boxberger, that's Sergio Romo just loosening up. Boxberger's throwing hard. He's retired everybody with ease, and Carrera comes up and slaps him just foul.
That's cued off the end of the bat. It goes into foul territory, and Duda swipes at Carrera, but Zeke goes around him and he's safe. That ball was cued off the end of the bat. It hit Boxberger and then went into foul territory, so it's a fair ball. And then Carrera slid it around Duda, who swiped at him, but he missed him, and Carrera's aboard.
And everybody is looking into the dugout of the Rays to see if they want to take a look at this. It was a swinging changeup, if you will, and that fooled Boxberger. Ricochets off of him over to first base. Duda, here's his only chance to try and get Carrera. It looks like he's a little bit late. Fields it with his glove, inside turn.
What a slide by Carrera. So Cash, take a look at Carrera. He stays within the baseline and slides and swipes the right hand across the base. But the umpires have been asked to review the play, and they're going to once again put the headsets on.
Well, that one shot that we had from the high first base camera, did Duda, his only shot at getting him, was he able to hit the shoulder area of Carrera? That one's going to be tough to tell right there, but that's the swipe right there. Was he able to get that shoulder for Zeke there?
I don't think he tagged him.
Doesn't look like it.
No.
It looked like Carrera hit the base hard, first of all with his right hand, and then his chin hit the ground pretty hard too.
This will give you an idea. He never tagged him. That was a good shot there. There was a gap between the glove and Carrera's body. But Zeke does a terrific job sliding, and then you're right, he slams into the ground hard. But he gets another pinch hit. That would be 4 pinch hits if this call on the field stands. The Rays had a challenge back in the 5th inning. Donaldson hit what looked to be a two-run, two-out double. It was down left field line. The Rays challenged it. The call on the field was overturned. It was ruled a foul ball. That was in the 5th inning with 2 outs. Donaldson would walk to load the bases, and then Smoke would be robbed of a hit by that sliding catch of Kiermaier in center.
And this is a big call right here, because if he's safe, then you got Pierce to the plate, and Steve's been hitting the ball hard all series. 2 hits today, and then he was robbed of a ball his last at bat.
And Pierce is 2 for 7 against Boxberger with 2 home runs. So this is a pivotal call in the ball game. Carrera has been called safe on the field. The umpires have asked for the video review, and it appears as though they have the decision. Looked like they were ready to take the headsets off. Duda swipes at Carrera as he's sliding past him. Boy, it looked like he touched him there.
Looked like the jersey moved on that one.
It did there. Watch the glove and the jersey. Right there. Boy, ever so slightly, it looked like it brushed the jersey. Certainly, if it was ever so slightly that he made contact with him. When they have these reviews, the umpires in New York who are reviewing these calls have every angle that we have seen, so they have the opportunity to see all those different angles, and now they have a decision. Safe. So the call on the field stands, and that's a big call. So Carrera picks up his 4th pinch hit of the season, and now Kevin Cash has come out of the dugout. He's going to make a pitching change here. He's already signaled for Sergio Romo, the righty. We mentioned Boxberger had given up 2 home runs to Steve Pierce. He's the scheduled batter, so we've got a pitching change with a man on and 2 outs here in Tampa Bay. Romo in to face Steve Pierce. The Rays have a 1-0 lead. Everybody's trying to get along down here, Jamie, and it's a 1-0 game, and nobody's been on edge just yet. But you never know. Lots of baseball still coming. Sergio Romo into the ball game with a man at first and 2 outs, and the first batter he'll face will be Steve Pearce. Romo, those are his numbers between the Dodgers and the Rays in 42 games.
Give him something else to look at, Steve Pearce, because he was hitting everybody he has faced so far. Came over from the Dodgers in 42 games this year. Romo, who has closing experience in the playoffs, so you know these types of games you're not going to face him. Fastball, slider, tough on righties.
Pearce asked for time and it wasn't granted, so he takes a strike. He looks at Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, and said, "I'm not ready, and I asked for time, and that's okay. It's only 1 strike. I got 2 more left." And now Reynolds is frustrated by the Blue Jays dugout hollering at him. Sucre has caught 6 of 23 base stealers. And Carrera will run from time to time. Zeke's got 7 steals in 8 attempts. Pearce hits a high fly ball to left. Dickerson calling for it, moves under it and makes it. So Romo gets out of it in the 7th. Keeps it a 1-run game. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. The Rays lead it 1-0. To start the bottom of the 7th, Mesa comes in to face the top of the order. Mesa making his 5th appearance of the season.
Probably just the first 2 batters, because Kiermaier's a lefty, Duda is a lefty, and Mesa has been good against lefties. He's only been up for 4 games, but he has shown a pretty good fastball and a pretty good slider. 6 strikeouts in his 4 1/3 innings. He'll get the lefties. Danny Barnes is starting to warm up for the righties later this inning. Mays has been a nice little surprise for the Blue Jays, and I think they got to see what they have the rest of the season.
Time now for a drive of the game, brought to you by the powerful all-new 2017 Civic Type R.
Well, Kevin Kiermaier is going to be the first batter here in the 7th inning, but we got to show you what he did defensively against Steve Pearce. This might have been the ball game right here. A couple of runners on, and he goes into the gap in left center field with an unbelievable catch in the 5th inning against Pearce. Saves a couple runs, and to top that off, he ended the inning with another great catch with the bases loaded. Kevin Kiermaier, the Gold Glove center fielder, shows you why he won that glove.
He made a long run to take a hit away from Justin Smoke to end that inning. And he's had a great day in the field. He had a great game in the ball game last night at the plate. 0 for 3 so far today. Mesa misses with the first pitch.
Rob Refsnyder into the ball game after Darwin Barney was pinch hit for. He takes over at second base for the Blue Jays.
That's a foul. Kiermaier kind of stumbling out of the box. Kiermaier fractured a hip running to first base. He slid feet first into the bag at first, and that was back early in June. Missed 61 games. But he came out of the box, kind of took an awkward step and stumbled out of the box.
Looked like he rolled that back leg, that back ankle.
94 up and in. 2 balls and a strike to the Rays center fielder. Dominic Leone struck out the side in the 6th. Kiermaier's late on that fastball. Good fastball at 95. Mays is an intriguing young lefty. He throws hard. He's got a nice breaking ball. Blue Jays have been looking for kind of a lockdown left-hander for a while.
An overpowering lefty that can do that right there. Strike out left-handed batters late in a ball game. So it's intriguing. Lefties, sometimes it takes them a while to develop an off-speed pitch and get that thing down. Mesa talks about that slider being a pitch that he has refined this season. You got to gear up for the fastball, and he throws him a slider and picks up the strikeout.
Blue Jays have done a good job with Kiermaier and Duda. They have combined to strike out 6 of the 7 plate appearances they've had so far. Blue Jays have recorded 4 straight strikeouts. Leone struck out the side in the 6th. Mesa strikes out Kiermaier here in the 7th.
This is a Rays team that strikes out a lot, most in the American League.
Oh, what a nice play by Donaldson. He sized it up, timed his leap perfectly, and he takes a hit away from Duda. He had enough time to get a read on that liner, and then coiled his legs up, sprung, and makes the catch top of his leap.
Shows you how athletic Josh Donaldson is. We've seen him come up and make plays on swinging bunts and bunt plays. This time he's going to show off his vertical. Goes up and snatches that ball out of the air. Takes a hit away from Duda.
Well, there have been some great defensive plays in this ball game, as you would expect in a 1-0 game. Evan Longoria, he's had a good day at the plate. He's 2 for 2 with a walk, single and a double. Well, Montero called for it outside, and Mesa hit his glove, but it was off the plate.
.95, plenty of fastball.
Yeah, and you know what? He has kind of a live fastball. It gets on hitters. That was right past Longoria. Evans a much better low ball hitter than a high ball hitter. We've seen that throughout this series. He'll take those pitches down and away and shoot them into right. Breaking ball inside. Interesting. Alex Kiermaier loosening up. And it's the bottom of the 7th. Will he pitch 2 innings? Longoria pulls that slider foul. Kiermaier picked up the save here on Tuesday night, his 37th save of the season. Had a little bit of trouble. He gave up a single and a double to start the inning, then a sac fly, but was able to close out the game. Mesa strikes out Longoria. Good job by the bullpen. Mesa retires the side in order and punches out Longoria to end the 7th. We'll go to the 8th. Blue Jays trail by a run. Donaldson smoking Bautista when we come back.
Toronto Eaton Center are the official team shops for your Toronto Blue Jays. Authentic alternate red cap and jersey available now. Get yours today at select J-Shop locations, jshop.ca, or by calling 1-877-J-Shop. Back up to the booth with Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. And we got quite a ball game going on here. Blue Jays trail 1-0, but they've got the big bats coming up here in the 8th inning. Sergio Romo came on and closed out the Blue Jays in the 7th. Got Pierce. Now Donaldson takes the first pitch breaking ball.
And you bet that Sergio Romo is going to be very careful with Josh Donaldson. One-run ball game. He's going to be throwing him a lot of breaking balls. Josh has to be patient. Going to try and get him to fish for that ball off the plate.
It's a big sweeping slider. It really has a lot of break to it. He'll start it off the plate inside, and it'll catch the outside corner. Romo started the season with the Dodgers. Of course, he's got lots of experience. Spent 9 seasons with the Giants. He was their closer. Donaldson pulls it foul. Josh just 0 for 1 against Romo. Catcher with a little too much movement on that glove. Send a red flag to the umpire. I don't think it's a strike, but I'm going to try to buy one.
He was trying to sell it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Pulling that thing back in there. Romo's best pitch is that hard breaking ball.
Doesn't throw real hard, 86-mile-an-hour fastball, but you're right, that big breaking ball is his bread and butter.
From 0-2 to 3-2.
Fly ball deep to center field. Kiermaier back in front of the wall. He makes the catch. Donaldson flies out to deep center field. Well, Justin Smoke so far 0 for 3, but he has got the power. You take a look at the leaders in the American League. Smoke is tied with Chris Davis. Judge leads with 37, then Gallo and Moustakas, and then Davis and Smoke.
He's already hit one in this series out of here. Low ball hitter, and if Romo tries to stay down there with his fastball, we might get tight ball game. You know, we were talking about Souza, how he covers up the gap in right field. He's also playing as deep as outfield as I've seen for this team. Look where Souza is, almost on the warning track in right field.
Well, that's a tough strike. Right at the bottom of the zone. There's Souza just a couple of steps away from the warning track.
That's not about getting back to make the catch on the warning track. That's all about trying to keep the ball from going by him and cutting it off and keeping Smoke from turning a single into a double.
Romo took something off that last pitch, and well, you look at the location of all those pitches. That's how Romo can survive not having a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Probably going to stay away from him, and if he throws him a breaking ball, he's probably going to backdoor it.
Breaking ball pulled, foul. Bouncing ball right over the bag at second. It's Longoria who throws to first and smokes retire. Now Jose Bautista to face Romo. None of the Blue Jays have many at bats. Bautista's 0 for 4 against Sergio.
Number 19, Jose Bautista.
Blue Jays have stranded 7. The Rays have left 8. They've only been 9 hits in the game. Quite a contrast to last night's ball game when both clubs combined to hit 9 home runs.
How about that? The contrast of these two games. Blue Jays are just one swing away from tying this baby up. They got the right guys coming up.
Breaking ball missed. It's 2-0.
Keep that ball down and point and get it down here, but you still have to throw it for a strike. If you don't, Jose is not going to swing at it. That's all good to point where you want it, but you throw it down there, it's going to be a ball. You trying to walk him and put the tying run on base and the winning run at the plate?
It'll be interesting to see if Bautista reaches, how Kevin Cash will handle it. He's got Kiermaier ready down in the bullpen.
Just look at the numbers. Morales is 2 for 5 versus Kiermaier.
3-0 slider for a strike. I told you that Romo will throw that slider any time. High fly ball. Left field. Dickerson gets over and makes the catch, and Romo retires all 4 he has faced since coming into the game. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Kevin Barker in the Samsung broadcast studio. To retransmit it in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express or written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Well, the Blue Jays will be in Florida for the last time after this game. They will fly back to Toronto and welcome in the Twins tomorrow. That's a nice sign they have today's forecast. Smoking hot with a chance of rain. So far we haven't had any rain like we would hope.
Is he talking about the bringer of rain?
Exactly.
He came close last at bat.
Logan Morrison goes around on that first pitch. Tim Mesa retired the side in order in the 7th with a couple of strikeouts. He struck out Kiermaier and struck out Longoria. I tell you what, the bullpen has done their job in support of Tom Koehler. Koehler was great himself. Koehler had 7 strikeouts. Leon struck out 3, and Mesa has 2 so far.
5 of the last 6 outs have been recorded by the strikeout. Got a couple of lefties scheduled this inning. See if Mesa can pitch inning number 2 this afternoon. His slider looks really good. He was talking when he first came up that that's the pitch that he has really been able to hone in on and really improve on. He'll get a little bit quick at times. He says, I've learned to stay over the rubber just a little bit longer.
Morrison strikes out on a good fastball. 95 upstairs for Mesa's 3rd strikeout. Well, John Gibbons has already come out of the dugout, and Mesa will hand the ball off to the manager, who will in turn hand it off to Danny Barnes. So 1-0 game. We've got a pitching change here in St. Pete. Inning after Mesa struck out 3 of the 4 batters he's faced. It's over to Danny Barnes to face Steven Souza Jr.
Danny Barnes originally was a 35th round draft pick of the Blue Jays back in 2010. Has made his way through the minor leagues. Got his first taste of the big leagues last year. Just 12 games for Barnes. So 46 games. This is now 47. Obviously a career high for Barnes. He's done a good job for him, averaging a strikeout an inning.
Steven Souza Jr. has walked, struck out, and got hit by a pitch. He pops up the first pitch. By walking in the second, Souza extended his games reaching base against the Blue Jays to 28. He's reached base 28 straight games against the Jays.
Wasn't there a streak by Dustin Pedroia around 40, 41 consecutive games against the Blue Jays?
That's the longest one, and you think about it, that Pedroia, he was on base for like 2 years. Even longer. But Souza is doing the same type of thing. Fastball, and Barnes makes quick work of the right-handed hitter. A couple of strikeouts now in the Blue Jays bullpen. bringing out the strikeout pitch this afternoon.
3 for Leon, and the 3 batters he faced. Tim Mesa faced 4. He struck out 3 of them, and now Danny Barnes gets the first strikeout against his first batter tonight. Well placed fastball up and into Souza.
In Detroit, the Yankees have tied up the game with 3 runs in the 7th. It's now 6-6. Of course, they had that big fight. It basically started when Michael Fulmer hit Gary Sanchez, and then they retaliated against the big guy, Miguel Cabrera, and he took exception. He tried to put a knot on Austin Romine's head. And then the bench is emptied, and then they really went to town.
Everybody got involved. Don't wake up that sleeping team. You got the lead 6-3. Don't wake them up.
I want to know who took on Aaron Judge.
That's the one team I wouldn't want to get in a fight with. The
Big
Yankees.
guys.
Dylan Betances, Judge. Gary Sanchez is a big boy too.
They had a lot of big boys roaming around in that pile. Miguel Cabrera squared around like he had boxed before. Generally, you see a lot of slapping and grabbing and clutching, but Cabrera was ready to go to town. Cory Dickerson, he has taken the collar so far. He's 0 for 3. He has scored the only run of this ball game. That was way back in the 2nd inning. Reached on a fielder's choice. The 2nd on a base hit. 3rd on a hit by pitch, and scored on a sac fly. Three-two, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. Fly ball deep to center. Pilar's on the run at the track, at the wall. This ball is gone. Cory Dickerson hits a 3-2 pitch out of the ballpark. His 24th home run of the season. And that has given the Rays a 2-0 lead.
Little breathing room. They have been pitching him hard stuff up, figuring that he can't go down and get it. So when the count went to 3-2, they changed up and went to a changeup down, and that's right where he likes it. Stays back on it. Home run number 24 for Dickerson, and he gives the Rays a little breathing room.
All season long, Dickerson has shortened his stroke with 2 strikes.
Yes. And that changeup is right where he likes it, down. He has had a good series. He had a multi-hit game in game number 1, another one yesterday, and this is his first hit, but he scored 2 runs. He takes that one to dead center.
Dickerson this season batting with 2 strikes has a .232 average, and that's his 8th home run with 2 strikes.
It's noticeable how he cuts his swing down. You can see it.
Zuckery, it's a high fly ball into left center. Pilar is calling for it. Pierce peels out of the way. Kevin makes the catch. But Cory Dickerson, with his 24th home run of the season, has stretched out the lead. It's a 2-0 game as Alex Koehler, the closer, comes on. Cory Dickerson, a 2-strike home run. His 8th 2-strike homer of the season. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay.
Honda Marine. Great days on the water begin with Honda.
Alex Kiermaier leads the majors with 37 saves. He's on looking for his 38th in this 2-0 ball game. 54th appearance of the season for Kiermaier.
Yeah, he has been a workhorse for this team. He got the save the other day in game number 1, and the first batter he faced was Kendrys Morales, and he singled and came around to score that 37th save for Kiermaier. Peter Borges in the ball game for Cory Dickerson, takes over in left field.
There's a base hit that crosses up the shift, and Morales is aboard. Boy, the Dickerson home run huge now with that leadoff base hit.
Just like the other night, he led off with a base hit, came around to score, and that game ended up being a 1-run game. Blue Jays lost that one 6-5.
Montero hit a sacrifice fly to plate the run. Kevin Pillar, he's 0 for 3. Blue Jays have just 6 hits, all singles.
Eight times this season, Kiermaier has saved a game more than an inning. This time just one. He got 1 inning.
Pillar hits a fly ball to right. Souza coming in a few steps, still coming in. He makes the catch. Obviously, in a 2-0 game, the bullpens have both stepped up in this game. Leon, Meza, and Barnes, prior to the home run, had done a great job. Barnes gives up the solo home run to Dickerson, make it 2-0. The catcher, Miguel Montero. Miguel is 0 for 2 with a walk. Miguel's got a little pop. He can reach the seats.
We saw that in Chicago when he took that low fastball out of here to left field. What he's going to have to do is, Kiermaier's got that little sharp cutter or slider. He likes to throw it down and into lefties. He's going to have to catch it out front and pull the ball down the right field line if he's going to hit one out of here.
Montero had the sac fly against Kiermaier on Tuesday night. Blue Jays need a big hit here. That foul tip from Montero.
See, that ball's cutting in. It's going to have to catch it out in the front and pull it. It's only 322 down the right field line.
Can't hang on to it. The Blue Jays pitchers have struck out 14 Rays this afternoon. The Blue Jays have only struck out 5 times against Tampa Bay, but the Rays have 2 runs. The Blue Jays don't. There's that short porch in right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 9th inning, the rubber game of this 3-game series. The Blue Jays have won 10 of the 18 games these two teams have played so far. They will finish their season series with this game today. Full count. Goins, the next hitter. If Montero can reach or stay out of a double play. Strike 3 call. Montero, you could hear him say no, and that was up. But Kiermaier gets the strikeout.
They're staying away from his hot zone, which was in. Montero gave up on this breaking ball. Thought it was high. Says no way. Thought that ball was up. And Kiermaier has a big strikeout. He had the guts to go to that breaking ball with 2 strikes, 3-2.
So Ryan Goins batting with 2 outs. Goins hit one of the 6 home runs the Blue Jays hit last night. Never had a hit against Kiermaier. He's 0 for 6.
Well, he's just trying to keep the ball away from him. The last thing he wants is a home run, so he's pitching away from him, making Goins go the other way.
Balls in his strike. Aoki has come out on deck. If the Blue Jays can keep the inning going, keep the ball game going, Aoki has come out on deck. He will apparently bat for forever.
Ref Snyder
went into the game. You're right.
Came in at second base and would pinch hit for Rob. Got to get to him.
Rolls over and pulls it foul.
He had a home run cut on that last swing. He had a home run cut in last night's ball game. Austin Pruitt tries to sneak that high fastball by Ryan Goins, and Ryan says, wait a minute. Hit that ball a long way. That ball for Goins was leading off the 2nd inning. The Blue Jays would go on to hit 3 home runs in that inning alone. Take one right here.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. He strikes out, and Kiermaier ends the ball game. A couple of strikeouts against Montero, and then strikes out Goins, and the Rays win a 2-0 ball game. And the Blue Jays lose the series, and Kevin Kiermaier had a lot to do with keeping the Blue Jays off the scoreboard this afternoon.
This whole series, it seemed like Kiermaier had his hands in just about everything that the Rays did. He saved 5 runs all by himself today with his glove. Didn't get a hit offensively for him. Couldn't do anything